for a limited time. Swing by, sip something special, and celebrate the season at Que Pasa Mexican Cantina.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Chatting with Brian at Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. Well, time to see how your car weathered the winter.
That it is. Let's make sure your vehicle is ready to handle the warm months ahead.
Being a AAA and ASE certified shop, I know you guys are well equipped to do just that.
Justin and our techs have all the experience you need in diagnosing and repairing whatever may be ailing your vehicle.
And if finances are tight for customers, you can help there?
Yes, we can. We offer the AutoPass card, which has really been a huge help for people who are in dire need of repairs. Call us with any questions on this program, or you can get an answer in minutes right from our homepage at anytimeanytime.com. Just click the AutoPass Apply Now button.
What a great option for those who have repairs that just can't wait.
Absolutely. It's been a fantastic opportunity for many people.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, everybody. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialist. See anytimeanytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City. You need to know.
Stanley Cup Final Game 6 tonight in Florida as the Panthers try to win their second straight Stanley Cup. They can do so with a victory over Edmonton tonight. Face off 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Oilers are going back to Stuart Skinner in goal for tonight's contest, hoping to force a Game 7 that would be in Edmonton. Game 6 of the NBA Finals is on Thursday. Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton reportedly dealing with a calf strain. He's getting an MRI on the injury. ESPN reports the Pacers want to know the severity of the injury, and then will determine a timetable and a plan for Halliburton's availability. Pacers are trading their first-round pick in next week's NBA draft. That's number 23 overall, along with the rights to Mojave King to the Pelicans. New Orleans is giving the Pacers a 2026 first-round pick that was originally owned by Indiana. And at the College World Series, Oregon State has scored 3 times in the ninth. They've tied Louisville at 6 apiece, still playing in the ninth in Omaha. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in, everybody. How you doing today? Tuesday edition of the program is ready to go. This is South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show ready, locked and loaded, out of the gate. Some great guests tonight from South Dakota, across the region, across the country, from high school to college to the pros. Let's get you covered with a great guest lineup, thought-provoking sports talk. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is streaming live on X, at Nate Brown Show. Reminder, follow us, watch us live, at Nate Brown Show. Hi to everybody there. Welcome in studio. Also on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. Hi to everybody there. Subscribe to the channel. You've got the live show, the archive shows right there. The Nate Brown Show is on YouTube. Search for it, subscribe. You've got us. Tuesday program looks great. I'll tell you the guest lineup. We'll cover a lot of stuff tonight, from high school to college to the pros. We got everything tonight. Let's go to John Schemmel. We had him on last week as USD was deciding, are they going to opt in or opt out? Can we run through a bunch of questions, what this all means? USD has made a decision. They're going to opt into the House settlement. So we're going to go to John Schemmel, interview tonight with the USD Athletic Director. Always love having him on. Great to have a conversation with him. He's open and honest and gives us some good insight. So what's the real story behind this, and how will it help USD and where they're at now? John Schemmel's on. Yote Athletic Director coming up from Vermilion. Michael Rand's going to join us from the Twin Cities. Senior writer, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Michael Rand on the Timberwolves offseason and more. Will they get Kevin Durant? Will Kevin Durant come to town? Do you want Kevin Durant? Michael Rand is in, senior writer, StarTribune.com. He's on tap. Well, we talked about high school baseball and Legion baseball. They sent out this survey to all the high school ADs and said, do you want to sanction now? Do you not want to sanction? What's the real story? Let's get into it with one of the South Dakota High School athletic directors that's talking high school baseball. Does he think it should be sanctioned? Where does he stand? He's the Rapid City Christian Activities Director, Kyle Courtney. He's going to join us tonight talking high school baseball discussion. Where does it go from here? Rapid City Christian has a team, but obviously just club like all the other ones. So I want to talk to a small school AD, and that's Kyle Courtney tonight, Rapid City Christian Activities Director, and also National College Football writer on tonight. John Bryce is in, footballscoop.com. A lot to look at on the football side when it comes to this whole discussion. They're getting together 32 Division I conference commissioners, the big conference commissioners. I mean, a bunch of them. They're getting together this week, and they're talking about something big. I'm going to get into that with John Bryce coming up, footballscoop.com. So a packed show on a Tuesday. Let's get you going tonight. 605-720-1067 if you want to join us. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Let's make it a great day today, right? You got to make them count. 605-720-1067. The Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline for you on the Nate Brown Show, and the same number on the text line. If you can text the show, be a part of the conversation there. We'll get those on the app and read those out on the program tonight. 605-720-1067. That is the Barron's Wilson listener text line for you. All right. Let's get into something that I've been asked about on this show. And there's a headline that came out today. So I've been asked about this before from a listener, and I've been kind of slow to say, yeah, this is going to be big. I mean, I've been kind of in on this. I'm not like I'm clueless. Well, you may say I am, but you're not the first ones. It's not like I don't want to believe this. It's not like I think it was never going to happen, but I've been slow to think that we're going to have this big shift in how consumers like you and me consume our media. And so I'm starting out the show with this headline today because I think it's rather significant, and I think it's a foretelling of things to come in sports, or it may already happen here in sports. It maybe has already happened in sports. And I'm going to bring it back to my concerns about this. So I was asked on this show by a listener, Nate, do you ever think that broadcast TV, cable TV, will get outpaced by streaming sports? Because he was asking me about, look at what's happened with the regional sports networks and all of the struggles that they had. These were untouchable. They had the Twins games. They had all of these games. Regional sports networks, they were powerful, and everybody was watching them because they wanted to watch the Rockies or whatever, the Twins, whatever. So I was asked this question. I can't remember when that was, maybe a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago. I don't know. Things go fast. They asked me, do you ever think the cable broadcast TV will get outpaced by streaming? And at that time, I said, there will always be the cable broadcast TV side of this because there won't be enough people to say, yes, I'm going to stream everything. Give me every streaming app there is. I'm going to pay this, pay that, pay this. I'm just going to not have broadcast or cable TV covering sports. We're going to have streaming the whole time. I never thought that was the case. Now, let me bring you to the headline today. Streaming TV, and this isn't just specifically sports, but I am going to say the sports aspect of this is big. Sports aspect of this is big, and I'll tell you why. Streaming TV beats broadcast and cable TV combined in the month of May. This is the first time we've ever seen this happen in the history of mankind. Isn't that something? So you heard that. Streaming TV. You guys watching Netflix, Prime, the list goes on. Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, whatever it is. Streaming TV just beat broadcast and cable TV viewership combined during the month of May. That's the first time it's ever happened. Streaming TV captured 45% of the viewing time. 45% of us are on streaming. 44% combined broadcast and cable. Okay? So I'm going to get into this and say, if that's the real story now, will that be the case for sports? Because get this, where does sports land in this? Sports is the only thing keeping broadcast and cable TV alive. No, that's what the study was finding out. They say, hey, the sports that are on broadcast and cable TV, like they're the number one program time after time. People aren't watching sitcoms anymore. So I understand where the world has gone. I get it. We don't have to wait for Friday night when we used to have TGIF. Does anybody ever remember the great TGIF TV lineup? On a Friday night, it was something I looked forward to. Gone are the days. So nobody watches TV anymore for this show or that show. Maybe you have a friend that watches The Bachelor. Enjoy it. But everybody is streaming the TV, so it's past broadcast and cable combined for the first time. Sports is the only thing that's keeping the broadcast and cable TV viewership at the 44% level. So what does that mean now? My point is, the streamers are getting into sports more and more. So the streamers, YouTube, Netflix, Prime, they're getting into sports more and more. And so you're going to see it, I think, sports is going to get more big payouts from the streamers. And then you're going to be wondering, what's happened to the broadcast TV, the cable TV? But maybe everybody's okay with it. So let me ask you that question of the day as we start tonight. Let me ask you the question of the day, because I'll give you a picture of my life. I still have cable TV. Call it DirecTV. Great sponsor. I enjoy DirecTV. So I've got DirecTV. That's what I watch. Do I watch streaming? Well, I do. I mean, there's stuff all over the streaming side of this. So my kids will want to say, I want to watch this show. I want to watch that show with you. I want to watch this. Boom, we get into... I couldn't tell you how many streaming apps I have. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I have nearly all of them. I don't think I have Apple TV, so I'm missing out. What else don't I have? I don't know. I think I have all of them. Yet I'm paying as well for the DirecTV side of this. But I must be the unicorn. I must be the last man standing. One of the last men standing. Because I still watch news and sports. That's my major consuming that every day. So that's my major time. I'll flip on a show and watch it with the family when they want to, right? Wife wants to watch this show. My kids want to watch this show. But get this. My family watches more streaming than live TV. So that's where this is flipped. Streaming TV has beat broadcast and cable for the first time ever in May. And my family, if you look at them, the rest of my family, they're watching streaming more. I'm watching cable broadcast TV more. So where does sports land in this? Are you okay? I guess we're kind of forced into being okay. Are you okay with sports now? Just watch. If broadcast and cable TV are struggling now, this is just the start. I never thought that would happen, but look at this. Streaming usage has grown. How much do you think it's grown in the last 4 years? They look back at 2021. That seems like just yesterday. So in 2021 compared to 2025, streaming usage has grown by 71%. I mean, it's just unbelievably off the charts. That's 4 years, 71%. So I never thought you'd be having football games on Netflix, did you? I mean, let's be honest. Netflix was Stranger Things. I just watched Stranger Things. It's like the only thing I know. So Netflix was movies. Now Netflix is live sports. We know Prime Video, NFL Thursday nights, huge. That piece right there. YouTube, what did they get? YouTube streaming, what did they get? They got the Sunday Ticket. They got it away from DirecTV. So this whole transformation now is going to go sports, streaming, And I ask you, maybe you're the last man standing like me. Are you okay with it? Are we just good to go? Not necessarily okay, but are you good to go on streaming live sports from here on out? Are you good to go on streaming live sports from here on out? My question of the day. That's what I see coming. I honestly see that coming because, get this, if we're not watching broadcast and cable TV nearly as much, we already know about the cord cutters and the whole thing. If sports gets taken off of there, now it may be a while. I'm not saying it's happening tomorrow, but this transition is happening quickly. And so the NBA is going to be back on NBC. I'm going to be watching that, but they're also going to be on Peacock. And so it's going to be one of those things. Eventually, are things just going to be on Peacock? Are things just going to be on Netflix? And I believe that will be the case. I think the leagues are going to get more into that. They're going to take huge dollar payouts from those streamers. And we're going to be left wondering, where did my broadcast TV go? I think broadcast TV, cable TV is still a thing. I still think it's the best. I don't have to worry about the big delays. It's really easy. I could actually flip back and forth between a news channel and Sports Center. I don't have to get in, get out. I mean, I understand, and we think, well, it's cheaper. Everybody, all the kids were telling me, it's cheaper. It's going to be cheaper. The streaming, just get this, it's cheap. Now I have every streaming app under the sun, and I'm telling you, I'm not saving money, I will tell you that. For the first time ever, streaming TV just surpassed broadcast TV in May. So my question of the day on the Nate Brown Show, are you fully on board now with streaming sports from now on? Are you on board with streaming sports from now on? My question of the day, 605-720-1067. I'm one of the last men standing, I'm sure, that has all of these streaming apps, and I still have DirecTV. I'm serious. I'm probably one of the last men standing because I got to watch a bunch of sports. I like watching news. Maybe I'm just an old guy that says, I can't cut this out. I'm not going to cut this out. I'm going to keep it. I don't want to worry about streaming everything because you know what I think? Can I get everything I want on this streaming app? Well, no, you got to get this one now. Can I get every sports channel I want? I want Mountain West games. I want this game. I want this coverage. Can I get all of that? And so I'm one of those last men standing. I'm like, I'm going to keep my TV. And I'll do the streaming when I have to. But the NFL got me last year. Was that last year or 2 years ago? I couldn't even tell you. They said, you got to get this playoff game, and you got to get Peacock. And I should show you right here on my statement. I should show you. You think I still pay for Peacock every month because of that NFL game from a couple of years ago? The short answer is yes. I still get it. It's still automatic. Just comes out of the account, and that's how this is going. Streaming sports, are you okay with it? Question of the day, let's take a look at some of the responses. Close. Streaming TV's past broadcast TV. Are you on board with streaming sports from here on out? Because I think that's going to be the thing. 53% of you say, not really. I don't love streaming. Hey, I like it. We got a fighting chance. We got to fight. No, we don't. We're just going to be forced into doing it. 53% of you don't love it, and I don't. Prime Video's coverage of Thursday Night Football has been bad. Let's just be honest. Thursday Night Football on Prime, not very good. Not as good as CBS, not as good as Fox. It's not even close. But we just let it go. 53% don't love streaming sports. 47%, I'm happy with it. Because I get it. So here's where we're at. I'm one of the last guys standing TV and streaming. My brother's only streaming. And then if he wants to watch a specific game, like, I don't know, he tells me he buys the game. He buys the game. Just that specific game. And I'm like, okay. Why do we have to make this so hard? I used to get everything. DirecTV, Sunday Ticket, had the games, had my news. And guess what? Is Amazon, is Prime and Netflix going to be there when the regional TV stations don't get watched anymore? So you've heard about the stories in South Dakota and beyond. What happened to Midcoast Sports? Anybody know? I mean, they cut out their high school. They cut out a lot of play-by-play. I know they still got some things going. It's all college, but not nearly as much coverage. That Midcoast Sports thing was outstanding. It was a lot of money. It was cable. They couldn't make it. And so I'm thinking about the regional TV stations out there covering the city council meetings, covering the local sports coverage, going to Friday Night Football, Keller Sports Zone, Friday Night Hike. Are those people going to make it? Say, well, yeah, no, they'll always be around. Those guys, oh, no, that's history. They'll always be around. I've heard that one before. So I can't wait for Prime, Amazon, and Netflix to come into South Dakota and start covering winner against St. Thomas More. Going to be a beauty. By the way, let's see what you have to say. Listener text, I can't flip between stations on streaming. I hate it. Can't flip between stations on... Well, yeah, you're in, you're out. Let's see. Listener text. Streaming might have more viewers, but streaming's still a major money black hole. Netflix is only profitable. The rest of them, on average, lose $1 billion a quarter. Well, it's cost so much to get it going. All that content, all of that stuff. These streamers, it costs so much to get it going. But I think they're going to get into more live sports. That's how they're going to make more money. That's the ticket. Because broadcast and cable TV has owned sports. How long is it going to take for sports to be on streaming and almost streaming only? Listener text. Just wait. Mountain West Plus is coming. Yeah, I understand. Hey, you can watch every Mountain West game on Mountain West Plus. But if you want Wyoming games, it's plus. That's the one you'd have to get. Let's see. Listener text. They have us absolutely button hooked with the streaming now. Used to be cheaper, but now 10 years later, I pay way more. Is that right? He's admitted it. He said he pays more. I don't even look at it, friend. I'm serious. I mean, that's bad budgeting for me. I'm not Dave Ramsey, okay? But I don't even look at what I spend on TV. Maybe I should. Things getting tight. Maybe I don't even look at it. DirecTV bill's this, pretty steep. And then I get all these streaming things. And I can't cut them out. Well, we got to watch this. We got to watch Squid Game. Sure. So we got to watch this. We got to watch that. And he says we're paying more now. All right, interesting stuff. We'll take a timeout and get into John Schimmel, USD Athletic Director. Times are changing, and they are changing in college sports as well. USD going to opt in revenue sharing with athletes. What does this mean for the Coyotes? The Athletic Director, John Schimmel, joins us live next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Fleet Farm is the place to stock up on supplies for all your furry and feathered friends. Get a 40-pound bag of Sprout Mixed Bits cat food for just $25.99. Save $5 on all bags of Nutrisource dry dog food. And for you backyard birders, 20 pounds of KT Basic Blend bird food is now only $11.99. Count on your local Fleet Farm for the best prices guaranteed on all your feed, seed, and pet care needs. And find even more weekly deals at fleetfarm.com.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
The new Mr. Liquor 2 in Rapid City is the only place in western South Dakota where you can order an ice-cold brew in their adjoining campfire bar and enjoy it while you shop. Experience unmatched selection and low prices, including Old Smoky Moonshine, only $23.49 for a $7.50. Or choose Traveler's Whiskey, the official whiskey of Major League Baseball, just $32.99 for a $7.50. Price is good at the new Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron next to Walmart, or the original Mr. Liquor on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Mainly clear tonight with a chance for storms. Lows dip down to about 55. Winds out of the northwest around 5 miles per hour. Highs level off around 83. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. Lows around 60. Tomorrow night, clear skies. Dry and warmer Thursday and Friday with highs from the low 90s to the mid 90s. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 63.
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is everywhere you need us to be. On the sidelines, supporting our local athletes, at our clinic locations throughout the region, and at our Ortho Express walk-in clinic when you don't have time to wait. We're here when you need us, working as a team to make your comeback. If an athlete has its uncertainties, wins and losses, injury and recovery. In the Black Hills area, athletes can always count on Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, here for whatever moves you.
Ready for the wildest night of your life? Bingo Loco hits the Box Elder Event Center on June 28th. A 21 and over event where bingo meets rave. Think dance-offs, lip-sync battles, throwback anthems, confetti showers, and epic prizes. Even a vacation getaway. Doors open at 6, show starts at 7. Book the Bingo Loco room package at Courtyard by Marriott. Includes your stay, 2 tickets, and breakfast. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now at thebox.live.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show on a Tuesday. Welcome in. We're going tonight, man. Good stuff across the board. High school to college to the pros. Got you covered. Great guest lineup. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show live. Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. Also stream us on X. See, we stream. Oh, my gosh. We stream. We're commercial radio station, all right? Well, we also stream because why? You have to. Everybody's streaming now. Stream us on X, at Nate Brown Show, okay? At Nate Brown Show. Welcome in there. It's not a bad thing. Still free there on X, as far as I know. John Schimmel's on tonight. I appreciate his time. He's been busy, and there's a lot of discussion going on. And I want to try and get some insight here on USD making the decision to opt in to the House settlement case. So a lot to come here. He's the athletic director for the Yotes. John, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great, Nate. How are you?
Doing good, man. So what's it feel like, I guess, to have the decision made? Things are always busy for you, but decision made, now you're on to the future. What's that feel like to just have that settled, at least that part?
Yeah, honestly, Nate, I'd be lying if I didn't say it wasn't a little bit of a load off. I think there's probably a new stress where you're kind of double checking everything. Did you miss something and all of that? But this has been a long process. This has been something we've been talking about for at least a year now. And at minimum, at least we've made a decision and we have a direction. And I think certainly myself, but our university, our coaches, I think we at least know now and can start making decisions and planning accordingly. And that in and of itself is a relief.
Okay, so the big question people have is, why did you decide this is best for USD? The roster piece, getting grandfathered in and not having to make cuts, I feel like was a big thing for you. You told me about that. Why was this overall the best decision?
Yeah, I mean, that's the number one thing, Nate. But it's not only the ability to grandfather in. The other side of that was if we waited till July 1st or any time in the future to opt in, we would have had to immediately abide to those roster cuts. And so I think, generally speaking, we were anticipating that we would opt in at some point. I think, generally speaking, probably at some point Division I's going to require an opt-in, and I think a lot of schools felt the same way. But on the flip side of it, knowing that if you decide to opt in on July 10th of this same year, just a few weeks from now, you would immediately have to cut down to those roster spots, and so really the roster spots and the ability to protect our student athletes that are here and that are incoming next year was paramount and primary. But Nate, there's some good things about the settlement and some things that are advantageous to opt into, and so once we cleared that hurdle, I think we were really confident that we were going to opt in.
People wonder, what are some of the good aspects of this outside of, well, we're not going to have to cut athletes. We get to keep a lot of these athletes that are on the roster that are coming to the University of South Dakota. We want to keep them here, and so you get to do that. You don't have to cut anybody. What are some other good aspects? Does it give you some, with the revenue sharing, does it give the university some say in, hey, we get donor support, and we get to put that to our university, but then maybe some of the revenue from ticket sponsorships can go into the revenue sharing? Does it give you a little more, streamline it for you, the university, the revenue?
Very much so. I think it's a huge win for our fan base and donor base. We haven't fully decided, but what we fully anticipate that we'll shut down our third-party collective, and then donors can just give directly to the Yote Fund, and that's through the foundation, and receive the tax deduction, and those things will help us. So that's a win there. But even beyond that, just with by opting in, the scholarship rules they change a little bit. They don't go away. And it really allows each coach within their program to be a little bit more creative with how they allocate scholarships. There's no more head count sports, right? So I think a lot of people know basketball and volleyball were head count, so it was full ride or nothing. But also a sport like tennis was a head count sport. And so those coaches can even be more creative within their scholarship allocation. And so even in some that may not have as much scholarship or be fully funded, they're allowed to have more creativity within their budget allocation, and I think that's a huge positive, not just for the footballs and the basketballs, but for every sport throughout our department.
John Schemmel on tonight on the Nate Brown Show across South Dakota, USD Athletic Director. The Yotes are opting into the NCAA House settlement. They've made the decision, so some revenue sharing with the athletes and figuring that out from here. There was a headline I just saw, Louisiana Monroe. It's not the same category you guys are in, but Louisiana Monroe's going to cut women's tennis. They say we got to, make sure we can make this work. As, they just said we got to make sure we're fiscally responsible. When you see headlines like that, do you get a little concerned?
Nate, yeah, I think that's the worst part of this. I think that makes it, I think we're into the 40s now of Division I programs to be cut. And so, I think every institution has their own challenges and thought processes that go into making the decisions that they need to make. I think for us, and I alluded to this in some other conversations that I've done, we started really kind of diving into our budget and Title IX and other things. The day I got here, we had to set a new course and really kind of have some fiscal responsible decisions be made, and some tough decisions were made with that. But those are not related to the House settlement for us. And we feel really good about the 18 sports that we have. And we're fully committed to carrying those. But it is sad to see, and I think yes, it's House settlement related, but it's also just kind of the industry shift related overall over the last few years, with so much priority put on the revenue sports and generating that revenue in football and basketball and what it takes to compete in those. That's the really unfortunate outcome. But I don't know that that's just because of the House settlement, but I do think that's an outcome we're able to avoid here at USD.
Okay, I like that. Are you telling me, John, does this reset every year, meaning you got to opt in again next year? Where, okay, maybe are some schools going to wait and see how this goes and then decide to opt in? Are they going to have to make roster cuts? Does this reset every year?
Yeah, it's not. Reset might not be the right word, but it's the right train of thought in the sense that because we opted in this year, it doesn't mean we couldn't opt back out a year later. And I think that was another reason of comfort for us, knowing, again, this is a decision we can make to protect our student athletes. And if things change related to the House settlement, and maybe that's Title IX related, or maybe that's the big 50 schools break off and do their own thing, and all of a sudden the rest of us are shuffling again, and so we have different things to figure out. I think those are all kind of the to be determined and the unknowns, and so for us it was really just, what do we know, what are the facts, and the facts were that we could opt in and opt in now to protect our student athletes, knowing full well if this goes a direction that is not good for us and or a direction we're just not supportive of overall, we certainly still have the freedom to opt back out. But I wouldn't look at it as a reset. I think I think this is the right decision for us today. I also don't anticipate that we would be changing course unless the industry were to kind of reset itself, and then obviously everything's back up in the air at that point.
John Schemmel on tonight. One more, I'll let him go. USD Athletic Director joins us with some insight on the House settlement opt-in for the Yotes. I see the conference commissioners, D1 conference commissioners, doing their annual summer meeting. One of the agenda items is the future of the NCAA governance. So I've talked about this with people. Is there going to be, would you be surprised, John, in I don't know how many years, if USD's in the same category as some FBS schools, the same league?
I would not. Now, I think we're going to wait and see, but, Nate, the crazy thing about this, the amount of schools that are going all in and paying big money, you're probably talking about 10 schools in the country that can truly carry a $20, $30 million football roster and not go into debt doing it. But there are probably 40, 50, maybe 60 schools, even within the A4. I don't know that everyone can keep up. But if I think they're going to stick around for the next 10 years because the settlement's a 10-year settlement. So if they were to break off, they'd take the settlement with them, and they take our money. And so with the governance and the power play for them, they put out a deal, a concept that would grant 65% voting authority to Autonomy 4 conferences, and that's not a good position to be in. And or if you're going to take 65% of the control, you darn sure better be taking 65% of the settlement. And right now we're paying 60% of the settlement, and they're paying 40%. So it's fallen on deaf ears for the rest of us, and I think even Charlie Baker came out and said, if we're going to really turn down the voice of everyone but 50 schools, we're really going to lose something here. So holistically, there's still a lot to be determined, but the governance proposal that initially came out is really a non-starter for me and for USD.
John Schemmel on tonight. Great insight. The Yotes are opting into the House settlement. More to come, John. I appreciate you hopping on and giving us some insight. Thanks a lot.
You bet. Thanks, Nate, and go Yotes.
Appreciate the time tonight. John Schemmel on South Dakota Sports Talk Show with the USD AD. They're going to opt in, and he said, we did it. Big reason, grandfathered in all of our rosters, all of our student athletes. They didn't have to be cut, so you didn't have to go through and say, we got to hit this limit here, and so we're going to have to cut this. They needed those student athletes to stay on these teams. A lot of these are partial scholarships, some walk-ons. They want them to stay at USD. That's tuition. That's support for the university. Very important. So what are the schools going to do that don't opt in? Are they going to have to cut their rosters down? That's interesting. July 1st, coming up soon. The Yotes are opting in, and there will be interesting things to follow as that happens with revenue sharing with the athletes. Revenue sharing with the athletes at USD. John Schimmelin tonight. The Nate Brown Show moving to the Twin Cities. Michael Rand, senior writer for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Do you want to see Kevin Durant with the Wolves? We'll start there next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Your home deserves a better hello. Swing into summer with a brand new entry or patio door. Get 20% off every door plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Enjoy an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. That's up to 25% in savings on an upgrade your home will thank you for. But hurry, these hot summer deals won't last long. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Thanks for being here. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live every afternoon drive. Remember, if you miss any guest on the show, we had USD Athletic Director John Schimmel just on talking house settlement, and USD, the Yotes, are going to opt in to this new plan, revenue sharing with the athletes and more. John Schimmel explained that decision for USD. South Dakota State still hasn't changed their position. As of the spring, they were opting out, and they haven't changed their mind yet. They got about a couple of weeks here to decide for sure John Schimmelin. Remember the Nate Brown Show podcast. That's where you can catch all of the shows, all of the guests that you missed, maybe live. The Nate Brown Show podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast. Search the Nate Brown Show, and you've got it. Like Michael Rand. He's got a good podcast as well. I was listening to it here. It's a daily hitter. I like it. Michael Rand, senior writer, StarTribune.com. Live in the Twin Cities. Michael, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you hopping in. I have a couple of interesting questions that I'll get to Kevin Durant and the Timberwolves. Is this going to work? Is this going to happen? I was just reading through your stuff. You were teaching sports journalism at the University of Minnesota. So take me inside. Sports journalism, is it alive and well in the next generation?
I think so. We got a lot of good students this year, a good group. I mean, they're all enthusiastic and willing. I mean, not everybody who takes that class wants to be a sports journalist necessarily. They just think that's an interesting kind of piece of their overall curriculum possibilities.
Okay.
But I think it's definitely alive and well. It's just going to, who knows exactly what form it will take, but we've been asking that question for 20 or 30 years, and the form keeps changing, and I think it'll be okay.
Okay, so you're a senior digital writer, StarTribune.com. There was a headline out today, streaming TV just beat broadcast and cable for the first time ever in May.
Yeah.
So I said, if that's happening now, where's sports going on the streaming side? Do you think sports goes there a ton?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, especially as you see all of these big players having a lot of money. You know, if Apple's in the game, Amazon's in the game, Netflix is in the game, if they're all wanting a piece of this and they've got the bankroll to do it, you know, in areas that are non-media related or non-TV related, that's only going to accelerate. And, you know, the leagues love it because fan experience standpoint, because the pie gets sliced up into smaller pieces and you got to have a lot of different subscriptions to get everything if you want everything, but it's going to push rights. That's the path forward for rights fees, is to keep slicing up these kind of smaller packages so they still have the number they want the number to get to.
Michael, what kind of guy are you? I think I'm one of the last guys surviving. I've got DirecTV, so I'm watching cable, I'm watching broadcast, but I've got all these streaming things because my kids say, well, I got to watch this and I got to watch that.
Right.
Where are you at?
We got Hulu Live TV, so I guess that's a streaming service. That's our kind of cable equivalent. We haven't had DirecTV or anything like that for probably 5 years.
Mm.
We're not like full on like cord cutters. I feel like the you know, adjacent streaming services like Hulu and YouTube TV. They're basically performing the function of cable. They're just, you know, cheaper and a little bit slimmed down. It's not like we get everything off of only. You know, we do, like you said, we've got 3 kids. We've got Netflix, we've got Disney Plus, we've got all the other things that you could possibly want, so that we can watch all of our specialized shows. So we got both, I guess, is what I would say.
All right, very interesting deal. The regional sports networks have struggled, and now streaming TV passing broadcast and cable for the first time ever. Those two combined, streaming beat them in May. Michael Rand on tonight, senior writer, StarTribune.com. Let's go to the Wolves. You just had a podcast on this. You just wrote a piece on this at StarTribune.com. The big things the Wolves have to accomplish this offseason. What's number 1, 2, 3 for you?
I mean, the first thing they're going to do is the draft, but I don't think that's the most important thing. I mean, the draft just comes next in the order of things. It's Wednesday, I guess Wednesday and Thursday next week, so you've got that. I think that'll be a little bit of a tip of the hand. What they do in the draft might tell us a little bit more about what they're thinking future-wise, but I feel like the biggest thing they've got to sort out is a bigger picture, like organizational question. How close do they think they are to winning a championship like next year versus how wide do you want to keep the window for the next 5 to 7 years? Because I think that's the Kevin Durant question. Like, if you think you're really close, and you've been to the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years, so you should think you're pretty close. But you know, they also have consistently said this day and age, it's kind of about being in the mix year in and year out, and then you find your year or your years to break through. I don't think we're going to see like these NBA dynasties anymore, not the way that the CBA currently configured. You've got, we're going to have our 7th different champion in the last 7 years this year. So you've got a lot of kind of moving parts. So I think the biggest question they've got to ask themselves is kind of who do they think they are in this moment? And I think that informs, do you make a big trade or try to make a big trade this offseason, or are you a little bit more patient with the big picture vision?
Michael, Bill Simmons said the Wolves don't need Kevin Durant. They need a point guard. Well, what do you say?
Agree. 100%. I think that's their bigger need. And the thing is, though, that is a problem that could be solved by patience, too, because they drafted a point guard a year ago, number 8 overall, Rob Dillingham. Now, the problem at point guard this year, as I've written many times and talked about many times, is they're two true point guards. They're two guys that, they went into the season with as point guards, were 19 years old and 37 years old, Dillingham and Mike Conley Jr. Those are not good ages for your 2 point guards. You'd love to average that out. If they had a couple of 28-year-old point guards, I think they would have been a better team last season, especially if they had the skill set that Conley currently has and Dillingham figures to have in the future. I do think they need that. I think someone like Darius Garland is tempting, although he just had toe surgery. I don't think he's even going to be ready for the start of the regular season, so that's a bit of a concern if you're thinking about, okay, well, where are you going with that? What do you want to see there? So I think that's true, but how long? I think we're going to find out this offseason how far away they think Dillingham is from being an impact player versus do they need a bridge? Do they need a bridge point guard for the next 1-2 years before they think he's going to be ready to be the guy? And so I think that's the question they got to ask themselves this offseason too.
Chris Finch said he loves Julius Randle, loves Naz Reid. So you want to hang on to those guys? Are you out on Kevin Durant then? Are you out?
I am. I don't think he does anything. He's got one of the all-time greats, but he hasn't made a team great since basically the team he joined that was already great, and that was the Warriors. Brooklyn was fine. I was just kind of looking at his post Warriors career though, and it's I think he's won 2 playoff series in the last 5 or 6 years. Not all his fault, obviously, but then the Suns didn't even make the playoffs this year. They were a huge underachiever, a huge disappointment. I just don't think that's the move to make. I feel that narrows your window without enough upside. I don't think Kevin Durant is the move I want to make. Even though it seems like they're interested in him and Ant loves him, doesn't sound like he wants to come here. Although I don't know if that's just posturing. Hey, I don't want to come here, but man, if you guys sign me to an extension, I might like to be here. They just got out from underneath Cat's contract. Why do they want a much older kind of second guy to go with Ant? I just don't see it.
Okay, very interesting. Michael Rand in tonight. Kevin Durant, are they interested? Are the Wolves interested? Will they get him? StarTribune.com. You're heading to softball right now, Michael. So
yes.
I just saw this on your daily delivery podcast. Can you go to softball tonight, and can you back into your parking spot? Are you going to back in?
I'm definitely not going to back in. I'm going to... We're going to park normally. We're going to drive straight into the parking spot. I will do my backing out, not by backing in. In some instances, it has its merit, but the people who back into the parking spot at Target and make 7 people wait for them to do it, I'm not feeling that. I'm not up for that. So, yeah, Royce and I ranted about that today. That was fun.
I wanted to give you that opportunity in South Dakota as well to educate. StarTribune.com, digital senior writer. It's Michael Rand. Find him on X at Randball, and he's got an interesting Substack. I was reading through that. Michael, good to have you. Thanks for hopping on.
You bet. Take care.
Appreciate it. Michael Rand on the Nate Brown Show across the state on Fox Sports Radio. Good writer. Good stuff. Michael Rand, senior writer, StarTribune.com from the Twin Cities. Yeah, he was just arguing about this at sporting events. Like you go to a soccer tournament or softball. He's going to softball tonight, he was telling me. So he said you can't back into your parking spots. All the parents they're going, you're in line. You're going to back in. You're going to go forward. You're going to go back. Oh, I can't get it perfect. It's the big truck. They can't get it, and they got to back in, and everybody's still waiting. You've been waiting through the parking lot, and then you got to wait for the backer inners. Little news flash. Matt Kearney sounds like he's a backer-inner. I've been both. I'll admit if I see a big line behind me, I'll tell you this. If I see a big line behind me at a sporting event, I'm not backing in. I'm going right in. I'm getting out of the way. You got to get in, get out. You can't do the back in, forward, back. Be careful with that. Michael Rand feels strongly about that, by the way. Backer-inners at sporting events. And he said, you like go to Target Field and stuff like this. People are trying to back in, and there's all these cars, and there's people everywhere. Because we got to be able to leave and drive forward when we leave. Because we don't want to have to back out and get in the line, and then it takes forever. I get it. He's trying to stop the backer-inners in Minnesota. And I gave him the opportunity in South Dakota. You know who you are, Matt Kearney. You know who you are. So next time you see a backer-inner, it's Matt. Let's come back with this, an update on the question of the day. What do you think about streaming sports? So streaming TV just beat broadcast TV for the first time ever. Broadcast and cable combined are now lower than streamers. This is the first time ever. It just happened in May. More people streaming. And what about sports? Are you good with streaming sports from here on out? Because I think it's going to happen more. We'll get an update next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Your home deserves a better hello. Swing into summer with a brand new entry or patio door. Get 20% off every door plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Enjoy an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. That's up to 25% in savings on an upgrade your home will thank you for. But hurry, these hot summer deals won't last long. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Busy month at Spearfish GMC Cadillac. And when the dust settled, we were left with a surplus of super clean and locally sourced pre-owned vehicles. Trucks, cars, vans, SUVs, and certified pre-owned. Shop all makes and all models, and all priced below market for unbeatable value. Now's the time to find your perfect vehicle and save big with Spearfish Motors. Visit us anytime online at spearfishmotors.com.
It's officially patio season in downtown Rapid City, and there's no better place to soak up the sun and the good vibes than at Que Pasa Mexican Cantina. Tacos, tequila, burritos, and beer, and good vibes all day long. Que Pasa is your hometown hangout, and we have a smoking deal for you. Mention you heard Rob on the radio and score a $2.99 house margarita any day, anytime. Limit one per customer per day, so don't miss out. Offer available for a limited time. Swing by, sip something special, and celebrate the season at Que Pasa Mexican Cantina.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. How you doing tonight? All right? Doing all right tonight. Coming up, John Bryce, national college football writer. Next hour, hang on, footballscoop.com. A lot to discuss with him. Kyle Courtney's on tonight. I wanted to get an activities director that was voting in this high school baseball survey. They sent out to the schools, should we sanction high school baseball in South Dakota? So Kyle Courtney's an AD. He's at Rapid City Christian, smaller school. I wanted to see what his thoughts were. They have a team. Would he want to sanction it? What does that all mean? A lot of the ADs said not yet. It was kind of split, though, but quite a few of them said not yet. Kyle Courtney's in tonight, Rapid City Christian Activities Director, talking the future of high school baseball, sanction or not. Let's go to this question of the day and get an update on streaming. So one of the big headlines in media today was streaming TV beat broadcast TV and cable TV combined for the first time ever in May. So the ratings were out, and streaming TV captured 45% of the viewing time in the U.S. 45%. 44% were on cable and broadcast. My question is, what are the other 5% doing? Anyway, let's see. So I look at this, and I look at it and say, there's going to be more sports going streaming heavy. And so I look at it as twofold. Nationally, you're going to see major leagues go streaming heavy because these guys have a bunch of money. I know the streaming side has lost money, but they have a bunch of money. And we're going to be calling it, you know what they call these? Monopolies. So they're going to have everything. They're going to have like 6 streamers are going to have control of everything. They're even going to start making you, use credit cards at high school games. I mean, it's unbelievable, but they're going to have control of everything. And so that's my issue nationally, is they thought, oh, this is going to be cheap. I only need this streaming and that streaming. Now you're going to need all of these streaming apps to watch your favorite games and stuff. That's the way it's going, I think. And this is what people kind of wanted, is streaming's easy, streaming's good, streaming's cheap. And my thought is it may not be as cheap as you think. And then on the South Dakota side of this, there's regional TV stations, for example, and I'm on the radio side, so let me just put that out there. I have a commercial broadcast radio station, and it used to be so popular to cover high school games. You'd be doing a community service. I'd be going on the road in South Dakota and covering games across the state. I mean, I covered so many games for 20 years. And commercial radio stations would bring this live coverage. Same story with commercial TV stations, and they still do it to a point. There's still guys that are working hard, putting together the highlights, putting together stories. Maybe it's not what it used to be because it kind of gets tough. One guy's doing it all and stuff like that. But what about the regional TV coverage of, like, South Dakota sports? I think we take it for granted because, like, oh, well, no, we can stream the games. No, I understand. You can stream the stuff. But if broadcast TV stations aren't getting watched as much, are they going to be prospering into the future to cover high school programs, high school teams, coaches, and the whole thing? It's like, I mean, they can't just... Broadcast TV is expensive, man. I know how expensive radio is. Broadcast TV is tenfold. all the expenses, all the stuff they've got into broadcast TV, and then the streamers come along and it's like, hey, everybody's streaming, except for when we want coverage of South Dakota high school sports that's not a game. I know streaming games is popular. That's fine. But TV stations have provided great coverage of this stuff, and there's some great regional ones in South Dakota, North Dakota that do a good job. But what if the broadcast TV side of this starts decline or continues to decline? Who's going to be around to cover South Dakota high school sports on a Friday night? Well, I guess you just have to hope there's enough streamers, because it's not going to be Netflix, I'll tell you that much. Let's see. Listeners, question of the day. What do you say? For the first time ever, streaming TV's passed broadcast TV in viewership in May. Are you on board now with streaming sports from now on? I like this guy's text. He just keeps it simple. Listener text to the Nate Brown Show, 605-720-1067. Text the show like this guy. Listener text, I absolutely hate streaming. I think it's stupid. Yeah, he just said what people want to say. He just said what people want to say. And I can't say like I hate streaming, but I don't love going in and out and trying to find, and I just don't love it. I'm used to, I'm going to find the game on this station. I'm going to watch news. I'm going to watch sports. I have cable. I'm paying for cable. And now I can't even get what I want because I got to find it on this streamer, and sports is going to go that route. I just believe that. All right, you tell me on the text line, are you okay from streaming sports from here on out? Are you fully on board with it? We've had to do it. Peacock, Netflix on Christmas Day for the NFL, Prime on Thursday Night Football, Peacock Notre Dame games. I mean, it's really going. It's going to happen more. Are you okay with it? It's a close vote tonight on the Nate Brown Show. 52% on Twitter say, I don't love it. Not really. 48%, I'm happy with it. Until you're sitting there complaining. You're happy with it until I've seen you post on your Facebook right after you complain about the kid that's walking the dog that lets him poop on the yard. Then you complain about, I can't get the game. It's buffering. What's going on? Same person. Into the next hour, I've got something for you. There's a state that says we'll funnel money from a tax to college sports. Do you think you would go for this? We'll discuss next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Be prepared for the unexpected and keep your home powered with Generac generators. Their home standby generators serve as an excellent backup plan in case of a power outage. Plus, they have advanced technology to automatically start within seconds of sensing a power loss. Save big on Generac generators. Also, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
The hottest wins are at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resorts. Blaze into big wins with over $80,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs, including your chance to drive off in a 2025 Chevy Trailblazer. Win $300 prize packages every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. to midnight, plus a $1,000 prize package at midnight. So qualify today and save the date for the grand prize drawing on Saturday, July 19th. big wins all summer long at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
Have you ever really thought about how important your front door, and every entry door into your home for that matter, really is? That door provides security for your family and so much more. The wait is over. Ensemble Doors by Renewal by Andersen have arrived. These awesome secure doors have timeless style, elegant features. They can be customized countless ways with the legendary quality of Renewal by Andersen. Right now, Renewal by Andersen is offering an incredible value on Ensemble entry doors. You get 20% off every Ensemble entry door. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 months. No payments for a year. Ensemble entry doors by Renewal by Andersen are just so much better. They're built with the best quality materials, including Renewal by Andersen's exclusive Fibrex, which has been tested to deliver enhanced security, certified performance, and lasting beauty. Please visit RBARapidCity.com now. That's RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate. Ensemble entry doors. The wait is over.
One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
One more time.
Hey, welcome in the Nate Brown Show tonight on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We are live. We are on radio. We are on streaming. I mean, we are with this thing. we are on streaming on X right now, at Nate Brown Show. No fee, though. I mean, you don't have any fee. The Nate Brown Show is free $99. It's a free $99, but quality product for you. We'll try and knock it out tonight. Find us on X, at Nate Brown Show. Stream us there, and welcome in studio on YouTube as well. The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to the channel. You've got us. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Second hour is good. John Bryce is on tonight. One of our favorites, college football national writer. A lot to discuss there. Footballscoop.com. There's a quarterback in the SEC who just said today he was offered $4 million to go to another school in the SEC. And he stayed with his current one. We'll get to that. John Bryce covers the SEC really good. Footballscoop.com. And then the AD at Rapid City Christian is Kyle Courtney. He'll join us coming up, talking high school baseball. Sanction or not to sanction in the future? He was part of the AD survey. Where's Kyle Courtney stand on that? His perspective from an AD Rapid City Christian on the way. If you want to be a part of the show, 605-720-1067 is the Pizza Ranch studio hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch at East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, also in Brandon, and 2 locations in Rapid City. That's the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet by far. And 605-720-1067 is the same number to text the show on the Barron's Wilson listener text line. My question of the day, some interesting answers coming in. Are you good with streaming sports from here on out? If sports wasn't on broadcast cable TV, let's say they went belly up and it was all streaming, are you good with streaming sports more and more from here on out? Listener text, get used to streaming. I'm trying. Listener text, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I don't know a single person my age or younger who pays for cable. I'm 26. All right. No, I believe that. I believe that. So streaming TV, past broadcast, and cable combined for the first time ever. That happened just this last month. Those numbers came out today. And I think sports is going to be on streaming more and more. It already is. And then I just saw this. You know, NASCAR's went to Amazon. So NASCAR's done some races on Amazon. What do you think the average age of a NASCAR watcher is on Fox? I'm talking Fox now. 63. What do you think the average age of a NASCAR watcher on Amazon Prime is this year? 56. We're getting younger when we go to the streamers. Not 26, 56 on Amazon. Those 56-year-olds are like, what's this, Prime? The only reason they know about it is they watch Thursday Night Football, so they figured it out. See, they get you. They got you. But the young people, I'm telling you, my daughter's a high schooler, other one's a middle schooler. As they get into this, you think they're going to buy broadcast or cable TV? Never. So they'll just be streaming. They know their dad watch. Oh, you watch news and sports. That's all they know. News and sports. They aren't gonna do that through cable, through DirecTV like me. I guarantee you that. Heck, DirecTV's even like bagging it. I've got DirecTV. I actually have the dish on my house. Am I one of the last men standing? I have DirecTV and streaming. Maybe. Listener text, one more on this. Are you ready to stream sports from here on out? Listener text, streaming works and the technology will improve. Well, I hope so, because there's been some bad plays with it. There's been some bad plays with streaming. I can't remember all of them specifically as I've done this show, but I know I've come in here and this big event wasn't on, and this big event you couldn't find it. It was a black screen, and I mean, there's been some bad things with it. There's no doubt. All right, that's the question of the day. If you want to chime in, 605-720-1067. For the first time ever, streaming past broadcast TV in May. Are you on board with streaming sports now from now on? All the different streamers. Are you good with it? I still don't love it, so I'm gonna hang on to that. I want live right here. Less delay, the better. I can flip around to this game, this channel. Not in and out of the streaming and all of that stuff. Okay, let me get to John Bryce coming up. Before that, I want to fill you in on this story. I'm going to ask John about this. So, how serious does SEC country take their sports? Here's an example. And I'm just going to bring this to South Dakota. Would you ever think this would happen in South Dakota? So we have sports betting in Deadwood, right? We have sports betting in Deadwood. What if we were to raise the tax? What if we were to say add a tax on sports betting? Every sports bet you make in Deadwood this summer, there's a tax on there that we're going to funnel to USD and South Dakota State. Well, what do you think about it? I just wonder what you say on that. You just drove off the road. Oh, no more taxes, no more. I don't want a tax on my sports bet. Louisiana's doing that. They're one signature away of doing it. Louisiana's governor is waiting for this. Well, I should say they're waiting for the governor to sign it. It's on the desk. Louisiana sports betting. So they've been doing sports betting in Louisiana, and they want to raise the sports betting tax. They want to raise it 15% to 21%, a little over 21%. They wanted to double it to 30%. They pulled that back, the legislature in Louisiana, and they said, well, let's go 21, a little over 21%. Sports betting tax, that tax specifically now is going to go to LSU and the other 11 state schools that have Division I football programs. So you got to have a football program to benefit from the sports betting tax in Louisiana. You know how much money they think they're going to raise off this sports betting? The estimates? $24 million. So, I mean, it's not, it's not chump change here. I mean, this is $24 million. They're going to have to divide it. But how about that? Louisiana taking it so serious, football and SEC country, not only LSU, but the other schools, they're going to go $24 million revenue off the sports betting tax. So they're going to increase that sports betting tax and funnel it to offset the cost of this new revenue sharing. So they're saying, yeah, we're going to revenue share, and the universities are going to share revenue with their student athletes, but we want to give them more money so they have more leeway to do certain things that they need to do. And what they're telling you is, Brian Kelly at LSU, you better start winning. We even taxed our citizens on every sports bet of the state so LSU can do something in the SEC. Would that fly in South Dakota? Would we support USD and SDSU enough? No, I mean, you'd have people complaining. You'd have people whining. What about this? What about that? We can't raise a sports betting tax. What if we added a sports betting tax on your sports bet in Deadwood, and we sent it to the Jacks and Yotes? The Yotes and Jacks need a little support. USD's opting in. They're going to revenue share. I'm not sure about SDSU, but what if we did that in South Dakota? Would that fly? I'm thinking not. I'm just thinking, with South Dakota, we don't love taxes. I just had to make a tax payment yesterday, a beauty. We don't love taxes. This is a pre-tax payment. I'm not behind on my taxes. What are you saying? This is a pre-tax payment. I love it. I give the government our money first, so then they're smart with it. And then I see what happens at the end of the year. I don't think we'd like a sports betting tax. Louisiana did it today. That's very interesting. Let's see. Listener text, you're asking West River Betting to fund East River colleges. Yeah. It's not just the West River people, though. I mean, there's visitors, tourists right now in Deadwood. I was up in Deadwood this weekend. A lot of tourists coming through. I saw somebody from Tennessee. So they could make sports bets, and then we get the outside help to fund the Jacks and the Yotes. I mention them because it's D1. So it's not like Louisiana's going to support all of their schools, every D2 and on down the line. It's D1 schools only with football. The D1 schools with football get to share in the sports betting tax, expected to do $24 million. And watch, the Yotes and Jacks are going to take notes and go, wait a second. Could we get a little bit of love off of Nate Brown's bets in Deadwood? Not so sure. Coming right back, John Bryce is in, college football national writer, great guest from footballscoop.com.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Your home deserves a better hello. Swing into summer with a brand new entry or patio door. Get 20% off every door plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Enjoy an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. That's up to 25% in savings on an upgrade your home will thank you for. But hurry, these hot summer deals won't last long. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside. You don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Mainly clear tonight with a chance for storms. Lows dip down to about 55. Winds out of the northwest around 5 miles per hour. Highs level off around 83. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. Lows around 60. Tomorrow night, clear skies. Dry and warmer Thursday and Friday with highs from the low 90s to the mid 90s. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 63.
The place that sells the best new cars and trucks is the place you'll find the best used cars and trucks. That place is Denny Menho Toyota. Shop better quality import and domestic models, Buy with no down and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, buy Toyota certified pre-owned with financing as low as 5.49% APR for up to 60 months. See us at Danny Menhold Toyota or DannyMenholdToyota.com. 1910 per 1,000 finance regardless of down. Offers with qualified credit expires 6/30/25.
Ever dreamed of building something amazing? Builders First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs is your go-to building materials partner. Whether you're building new or giving new life to an old space, we provide step-by-step guidance from drafting and cabinetry design to lifelike visualization and top-quality materials. It's your vision, and we're here to make it real. Visit BLDR.com. Builders First Source, your Black Hills partner in building every step of the way.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Fox Sports Radio, home of South Dakota Sports Talk Show across the state. Welcome in wherever you're listening. Thanks for making this show possible. We appreciate that. You can stream us on X at Nate Brown Show right there on X. If you have the app, you can stream us at Nate Brown Show. We welcome in John Bryce, national college football writer, footballscoop.com. John, welcome in. How are you?
Great, Nate. Always appreciate the chance to visit with you, and we're getting closer and closer to the official talking season. Just about a month until SEC Media Days and all of that, so be here before we know it.
You're ready to rock and roll. Speaking of the SEC, I just saw the Vanderbilt QB, Diego Pavia. He was on that show, Barstool. I think, I can't remember all this, but he was on a show, and he said he was offered to transfer in the SEC. So leave Vanderbilt and go to another SEC school. You cover this. You cover the SEC. He said they were going to offer him $4 million. $4 million. Are you surprised at all?
No, I'm really not. I guess I would be surprised that he seemingly turned down that money. Now, he could have been offered that money before he knew that he was going to get a 6-year to play a second year at Vanderbilt, or he certainly has proved that he's very loyal to Jerry Kill and Tim Beck being his offensive coordinator at Vanderbilt, who was his offensive coordinator at New Mexico State, and Jerry Kill being the former New Mexico State head coach, who's a special advisor and a senior consultant role for Clark Lee at Vanderbilt football. So those elements, I'm not at all surprised by the dollar figure. It's crazy, and it's going to officially be crazy until July 1, even though the new House settlement said that as of June 7th, people were supposed to start running those deals through the NIL clearinghouse and have them approved by Deloitte. And I think until July 1st, we're going to continue to see crazy money, front-loaded contracts, all sorts of stuff like that.
Do you think Deloitte, this company, this clearinghouse, listeners are listening now, what's going on? They're going to look at these payment offers. Do you think an offer like this, $4 million to transfer from Vanderbilt to wherever, is that going to be denied?
I think that would be denied unless the offer, Nate, was structured in such a way that maybe you had 20 different companies who were comprising the $4 million and each saying, our company wants a piece of Diego Pavia for this, and he will do this for us. Or our company will have Diego Pavia signing autographs once every 6 weeks for 8 months of the upcoming year. I think it would have to be structured in a way that they would have to have 20 companies or something like that, 20 companies, 10 companies, whatever. I don't think you could say one company was going to pay him $4 million and it would pass the mustard test unless that was like, for some reason, Allstate or Dr. Pepper, those are ones that have done very legitimate national campaigns with the likes of Bryce Young or Caitlin Clark or somebody like that.
John Bryce is on tonight. Follow his work at footballscoop.com. He's on X at John D. Bryce 1 for the follow. So Jay Billis came out and said this clearinghouse and this NIL stuff where you're going to have contracts The schools are going to be able to do agreements, and he said that's going to cut down all the transferring. The schools are going to say, we're going to do a 2-3 year agreement. So then he said, you're not going to have all these transfers anymore. Do you believe that?
I believe it's intended to cut down on the transferring, Nate. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I know there are a bunch of schools that are doing the agreements, but they don't want to do more than a 2-year agreement with most individuals, especially if it's coming from the high school ranks. No matter, even if it's a 5-star, and even if it's a 5-star who's started getting some NIL money in his or her high school career, the schools that I've talked with are still not looking to sign that guy beyond a couple of years and then reevaluate things, because you don't want to have sunk money, and that's what it is. And you can't really cut guys at the college level or cut student athletes at the NCAA level. You can, but if you've got a written agreement, you're probably still going to have to offer some components of it, or that money's still probably going to count against what you've had earmarked in your revenue share. So I do think it will limit some of the transferring. I know already that schools, I've touched on it before, Texas Tech has been public about it. There are a number. There are SEC schools, there are schools on the West Coast that have already been putting buyouts into their contract. Clemson might be another one on the East Coast, so to speak, that has done that. So some of this is new. Some of it is just being talked about a bit more publicly than what was already going on.
John Bryson tonight, couple more. I'll let him run. Find his work at footballscoop.com. National writer on the Nate Brown Show, a courtesy of the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. I had the USD athletic director on, John Schimmel, and the Coyotes FCS, they're going to opt in. They made that decision over the weekend. They're opting in, revenue sharing model. They get to grandfather in their current rosters, so they don't have to cut people that are on partial scholarships or walk-ons. So that was a big thing for them. So I'm thinking about this moving forward. And I'm saying, okay, I asked John, do you think you're eventually going to be in a league the same level with a Utah State, a Wyoming, some of these FBS schools that aren't going to be with the big dogs? He said he wouldn't be surprised by that at all. What do you say about the conference commissioners getting together? They have their annual summer meeting. They're talking about the future of NCAA governance.
Yeah, I just talked to an individual over the weekend who's been a executive at the highest levels of college sports. He's been an executive in professional sports, one of the major professional sports, and he certainly feels it's going that way. And he said 50 to 60, and I said, well, I really think the number is probably closer to 40 to 50, and I said even maybe SBJ or Forbes or one of those publications last week had some writers on their podcast talking about they thought it would only be 30. He said, as we have this discussion, I think you're probably right. It probably is closer to that 40-team threshold. I've told you before, I'll tell you again, I've got friends, multiple on a current Power Conference staff that has won a conference championship this decade that is not convinced they would make the transition to a 40-team Super League. They don't think they have the finances or the backing to make that kind of transition. So I do think it's inevitable. Dave Hart, when he was AD at Tennessee, told me in about 2014 or 15 that it was inevitable, and he predicted it would be here by 2025 or 2030. And it's not here by 25, although we've got a much expanded playoff system that wasn't being talked about in 2015. And so 2030, I think, could still be very realistic for this thing to really be a super division. And this person I talked to has experience negotiating national TV deals, national marketing deals, and he just made the point, like, look, you don't see the NFL letting the AFC and NFC negotiate separate contracts, separate media broadcasting rights, because it's all lumped together. College football is going to become regional, conferences are going to become secondary, and it will be more of a conglomerate.
Yeah. I was wondering, in the next 5 years, are you going to have the Power League, and then are you going to have everyone else left, the smaller schools in the FBS and the bigger programs in the FCS? Will they all be in the same one? The USD athletic director said I wouldn't be surprised. John Bryce on tonight. What do you say about Louisiana? How serious do they take football? They're going to add to a sports betting tax, John. They're going to say, let's increase the sports betting tax on every sports bet, and we're going to send that money to LSU and other Division I football programs to help them with revenue sharing costs. What do you say to that? Sports betting tax could get signed by the governor. Increase it for football.
Yeah, I like it. I like that it's not. I don't think it's as punitive on the fans. You know, the University of Tennessee has done an entertainment tax that is designed to go definitely or allegedly definitively only towards NIL payments and revenue share funding. And so if this is something that can help generate those revenues, Louisiana as a state has really struggled. I know just a few years ago, Louisiana as a state had a real budget crisis, and yet LSU football was expanding salaries and building a new facility, and it was a huge controversy. And so this is a little bit smarter. With New Orleans down there, you get a ton of tourism. There's casinos in Shreveport and other areas. So, yeah, if this is a chance for them to help fund, that might mean something else doesn't get cut, Nate. That might mean an Olympic sport doesn't get cut. I think we saw it today around the country. Multiple schools cut Olympic sports or announced that they would begin cutting Olympic sports. And that's going to continue to happen. We've been talking about it on your show at least 18 months or so. Well, not 18 months, 14 months since the DFO meetings of May 2024. And I visited with you after that. I told you that people in the room said the cuts would come to men's non-revenue sports, and they started coming today.
Yeah, I saw that. Quite a few programs getting cut, and people say, "Oh, this isn't just because of the House settlement." Well, it's going to be a big part of it as college sports continues to transform. Footballscoop.com for all the coverage. Really good. I hit it today. Some good stories up there. Footballscoop.com's John Bryce. John, good to have you, man. Thanks a lot.
Safe travels, buddy. Appreciate you, Nate.
Appreciate your time. John Bryce, Footballscoop.com. He's in tonight. National college football writer. He said safe travels. I'm heading on vacation next week. Did you hear that? Vacation next week. I want to take a little summer vacation. 1 week, no shows. I'm going to go watch Caitlin Clark, the most famous basketball player in the history of... Oh, careful. Just be careful. That's a topic for tomorrow. Hang on. All right, let's go to the high school ranks. Kyle Courtney is the activities director at Rapid City Christian. He was a part of this survey for high school baseball, and questions that were asked. Do you want to sanction? What are you concerned about? Should high school baseball be sanctioned in South Dakota? The AD for Rapid City Christian, what does he say about this? He'll join us next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Your home deserves a better hello. Swing into summer with a brand new entry or patio door. Get 20% off every door plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Enjoy an extra 5% off your entire project if purchased on initial consultation. That's up to 25% in savings on an upgrade your home will thank you for. But hurry, these hot summer deals won't last long. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
South Dakota's largest selection of adult beverages with low prices, it's easy to see why more people choose Mr. Liquor in Rapid City. This month's specials include Bailey's Irish Cream or Elijah Craig Bourbon, either one for just $28.99 for a $7.50 bottle. Or all flavors of Kinky Vodka are only $18.99 for the $7.50. Price is good at the new Mr. Liquor 2 off Catron next to Walmart, or the original Mr. Liquor on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
So, I just got the State Farm Personal Price Plan on my car insurance.
So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, having a good night tonight. Hope you are as well. The Nate Brown Show is live every afternoon drive on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Welcome in. Thanks for being a part of the program. You can watch us live on X at Nate Brown Show. Follow us, watch us live on X at Nate Brown Show. A reminder, the YouTube channel, if you haven't subscribed, that's easy to do. If you're on YouTube, you've got us, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube, live and archive shows there. And a reminder, if you miss any guests tonight, maybe you want to hear from USD's athletic director, John Schemmel. That was good stuff from him. Analysis and insight on opting into the House settlement, what that means, revenue sharing moving forward with athletes and more. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every guest, every show is on the podcast platforms. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. Search the Nate Brown Show and you've got every show. Kyle Courtney's on tonight. Activities director, boys basketball coach. He does it all there. Rapid City Christian. I wanted to get his perspective on this high school baseball discussion, just kind of see where things are at. High school baseball's operated very well by the Baseball Association, but a survey went out to schools. Should we sanction baseball? What are your thoughts on it? What are your concerns? Kyle Courtney on tonight. Coach, good to have you on. How are you?
Nate, I'm
doing good. Do I have you? I lost you.
Yeah, Nate.
Okay,
good
I got you.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you. How's summer, Coach? You're your basketball heavy, and then spring, and then everybody leaves. How's the summer, pro? You getting basketball cranking up a little bit?
Yeah, we sure are. We've been to a couple team camps and heading up to Groton to a team camp here next week. So we're in full swing here with summer basketball.
Okay, I was wondering, you guys have been growing, have been competing at a high level. You lost some guys. How does it feel in the summer? Still some players leading the way?
Yeah, well, we had a good JV group last year, so it's some of those kids' turns to step up and kind of lead the way. And it's going to be we need a good summer. We got to do a lot of growing and developing, but excited about the next group and the potential that we have there.
Okay, I wanted to get you some basketball questions because I got to do that. Now I got to get some baseball questions. So you're the AD at Rapid City Christian. You guys have a baseball team, a club baseball team, and they've done a pretty good job. You guys have improved there as well. When you looked at the survey that was sent out to schools, there was a lot of questions. Should we sanction? Maybe not now, maybe in the future. What's your initial thought on that as an AD, private school? You guys have to have the revenue. You have to make things work on a budget, like a lot of schools, but you're a smaller school. What's your initial thoughts on high school baseball sanctioning?
Yeah, we've had, we've treated it like one of our sports. So we're a little different than some of the other schools, that took that survey. But even though it's a club sport for us, we've really treated it like one of our regular high school sports in the 4 years that we've had it. So, we've funded it. We've treated it just like those other sports. Just from what I'm hearing around the state, I'm sure that's the biggest topic of discussion is the funding, and schools are just concerned about adding another sport. But for us, really, we're in favor of it. I'd love to see it be sanctioned, mostly for us because I just would love to have the oversight of the high school association. The one thing that's different with the high school baseball association versus the activities association running it is the baseball association, the ADs aren't involved in it. I'm one of the few ADs that does the scheduling for the baseball programs. And so you're dealing with coaches primarily doing scheduling. And, baseball coaches, of course, if they don't have the arm this week or there's kids out of town or there's a conflict, they tend to, that schedule just bounces all over the place. So I'd love to see it be sanctioned for one of the purposes is just to put it in the AD's hands as far as the scheduling. Have the oversight of the Activities Association. So my perspective, but we're definitely in favor of it being sanctioned.
Okay, that's interesting. 42% of ADs, administrators, these are superintendents and ADs, whoever voted in the survey, 42% in South Dakota said, don't sanction at this time, but maybe look at it again in the future. Do you think this is going to be something that continues to be looked at, sanctioning? I keep getting the feeling there's a split, and there's a pretty big number that say it's just fine the way it is.
I do. I think that I don't know if I'm accurate on this, but I think within a couple of years it's going to be sanctioned. The talk just continues to come up at our AD's meeting every spring, and I do think that the High School Association would like to see it be sanctioned, mostly because they've got softball already, and I think the natural progression is to go to baseball. So I think the High School Activities Association would like to see it sanctioned. I think the hang-up, like you said, is the ADs, and I think there's a large number of ADs who, it's another sport, it's more to do in the spring, it's more funding. So there's a lot of ADs that probably don't want it, but I think it's coming down the road. I really do.
You do? Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to look at it. Can you see the AD's perspective that are at this school or that school saying, we've had some teacher reductions, some staff reductions, or how can we justify spending more money? Our budgets are so tight already. Can you see that?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, I totally get that. It's like anything else. I mean, funding is the big thing, and yeah, there's a valid argument to be made there. But baseball is a big sport. I know that the number of teams have been growing in the High School Baseball Association. So, and I know Legion, is big in South Dakota, but I don't know if it's fair to say, but in my perspective, it seems like some of the Legion numbers are dying a little bit. I think there's just more to do in the summers, for kids. So we obviously have some very strong Legion programs like Post 22 and others around the state, but I think some of those smaller town Legion teams sometimes struggle a little bit with summer baseball. So, having something in the spring is for school, and kids want to play for their schools too, I think. So I think that argument isn't going to go away. I think you're going to continue to see this being brought up year after year as far as sanctioning baseball.
How about this side of it? I'm for sanctioning, but I'm not in the middle of it. I don't have to do the budget. I don't have to do the scheduling and all of that stuff. I'm for sanctioning just from You play the same type of championships. It's Activities Association sanctioned. I think the validity of that is higher. High school baseball around the country, Kyle, is really respected. Upper Midwest, we still have this Legion thing, and I understand Legion and the tradition, but do you think sanctioning would help, I don't know, high school kids from a recruiting standpoint at all, from making the high school baseball a little more, quote-unquote, serious than a club sport?
Yeah, I definitely think that's a valid argument, too. I think that it, maybe, I don't know if it legitimizes, but maybe in some people's eyes it does. I grew up in Iowa, and we've had high school baseball there forever. I think, South Dakota is one of 2 states in the country that doesn't have sanctioned high school baseball. So, I'm sure you could make that argument that maybe, it helps kids from a recruiting purpose. But I also think there's something that's fun for any kid about, representing their school, and playing, like you said, for a sanctioned state title. So I'm in favor of it. I see both sides of the argument. But I do think it's probably a matter of time until the Activities Association does something.
How do you think this works with Legion? You got players at Rapid City Christian right now. Could they play at Rapid City Christian and then start up at Post 22? I'm not so sure. Is there going to have to be some negotiation there?
Yeah, well, to say this, we have a number of Rapid City Christian kids that play Post 22, so we don't get those kids. And I think our club team would have been very strong the past 4 years with some of those kids that are at Post 22. So naturally, as the athletic director, I'd love to see those kids that go to Rapid City Christian play for Post 22 be able to play in the spring. But I understand there's a lot of dynamics there, and Post 22 is a very solid program with a lot of tradition, and I don't know if that will change or not, going forward in the future. But it would be a lot of fun to get those athletes representing our school.
When do you think the high school baseball state championships would have to wrap up by? What would be your guess? Let's say we sanction it. You're going to have to do it after state track. Are you going to be able to play into mid-June?
Yeah, I think you'd probably, maybe around that same time right now as you have the state golf might be. I know there's talk of moving state golf as well. Some of those coaches don't like going into June with that. But either you have to do it before, state track, or you're going to have to do it right after state track. It would be my guess. But
all right, last one for Kyle Courtney. Since you're coaching hoops, you've done battle with Dave Hollenbeck on a regular basis, Rapid City Christian against St. Thomas More, and now Dave Hollenbeck's going to West Central. When you got that news across your phone, what did you say?
Well, it was certainly a shock. Dave Hollenbeck, I just have so much respect for Dave and the program that he's built, and what he's done at that school. St. Thomas More, almost 30 years, and he had a great team coming back, so it was definitely a shock, but wish him the best. I can tell you this, he's going to go into a program at West Central that should be in contention for a state title. They are very loaded with talent at West Central, and I know we played their JV team this past year in a game, and their JV was loaded as well. So I'm sure Coach Hollenbeck's going to be in contention for a state title right off the bat there with his coaching, and I could see West Central being a power for a while with him there.
Would you like that matchup in a classic this season? What if they put you playing West Central in a classic somewhere?
Well, there's a chance we could. We're going to the Deck-12 Northeast Conference Clash in February, and so West Central will be there. I'd love to see that. We want to play good teams, and West Central is obviously going to be a great team. So it'd be a lot of fun to see them, just to play that kind of competition, but also to match up with Coach Hollenbeck again. But wishing him the best, and excited for him in that next chapter, and it's a big loss for West River basketball. I'll say that. He's been the standard out here for a long time, and just have so much respect for him. So wishing him the very best there.
Kyle Courtney on tonight. Good discussion. Rapid City Christian Activities Director, head boys basketball coach, and more. And a regular guest on the Nate Brown Show. I'm going to add that to his list. Kyle, good to have you. Thanks for the time.
You bet, Nate. Take care.
Appreciate it. Kyle Courtney on tonight, Rapid City Christian Activities Director. Good discussion on the baseball side of things. Good perspective there from an AD at Rapid City Christian. He says within a couple of years, he thinks it will be sanctioned. Did I hear that? I think that was what he said. Within a couple of years, he thinks high school baseball discussion will continue and could be sanctioned. Who's hot and who's not? Wrapping up the show next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Fleet Farm is the place to stock up on supplies for all your furry and feathered friends. Get a 40-pound bag of Sprout Mixed Bits cat food for just $25.99. Save $5 on all bags of Nutrisource dry dog food. And for you backyard birders, 20 pounds of KT Basic Blend bird food is now only $11.99. Count on your local Fleet Farm for the best prices guaranteed on all your feed, seed, and pet care needs. And find even more weekly deals at fleetfarm.com.
Hey golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Mainly clear tonight with a chance for storms. Lows dip down to about 55. Winds out of the northwest around 5 miles per hour. Highs level off around 83 tomorrow. Mainly sunny skies. Lows around 60 tomorrow night. Clear skies. Dry and warmer Thursday and Friday with highs from the low 90s to the mid 90s. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 66.
Sport utility season rolls on at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda. We have the area's best selection of pre-owned Honda and Honda certified pre-owned trucks and SUVs. Save big with 0.99% APR on select models. 0.99 plus great offers on late model SUVs, imports, and domestics. Nearly 70 to choose from. Our new SUV is here, and the time to buy is now at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. Length of finance contract is limited with qualified credit. Expires 6/30/25.
Whether you're a pro or a Joe, a weekend warrior or a gardening great, Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Ready for the wildest night of your life? Bingo Loco hits the Box Elder Event Center on June 28th. A 21 and over event where bingo meets rave. Think dance-offs, lip-sync battles, throwback anthems, confetti showers, and epic prizes. Even a vacation getaway. Doors open at 6, show starts at 7. Book the Bingo Loco room package at Courtyard by Marriott. Includes your stay, 2 tickets, and breakfast. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now at thebox.live.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
Let's do this Who's Hot and Who's Not tonight. Every night at this time, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Pizza Ranch, who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show. Hey, a big congratulations, our Who's Hot candidate, Marvin Richard III, Pine Ridge basketball player, commits to USD. The Yotes getting one of the great players in South Dakota high school basketball. He just committed, Marvin Richard III. What a player. going to USD, going to be a Yote. That's good stuff. Pizza Ranch Who's Not category tonight. Josh Allen, my boy. He said he's a big believer. If you can do the tush push, keep running the tush push. He said, let's keep doing it. But you can't do it, Josh. You guys couldn't do it. You got shut down against the Chiefs. Forget it. Josh, 1 negative point. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. The podcast going up right now. See you tomorrow.
Sandwiches are the original fast food. And what could be easier than loading up a few slices of Country Hearth multigrain bread with